This is a work of art, right? Who designs clothes like this? You never see this. Even to imagine this, you'll never see this again. Never again. I was living in New York. It was some salesman at Bergdorf Goodman. He directed me to Beene, and I tried on a few things.
Geoffrey Beene wrapped up New York's preview of the spring fashions on a high note, but then the U.S. designer is considered to be almost above reproach.
I just loved the outfit, and they were really comfortable, so I bought them.
I was 18 years old. I was hoping to get asked into New York City Ballet because that is what I trained for since the age of 13. And then the moment came where they said Geoffrey Beene came looking for dancers and I wasn't there. And I thought, oh no, I can't miss this. I love Geoffrey Beene. So I went down to his studio and I said, I heard that you were looking for dancers. I didn't get a chance to be there. And would you mind if I were to be considered? And the next day I got the word that Geoffrey Beene wanted me to be one of the 4 dancers he was going to work with.
Eventually, I came to the attention of the Beene organization because this one crazy person kept buying his clothes. So they invited me to a fashion show. They told me that if I, really wore all the Beene stuff that I'd been buying, they'd put me in the front row. After a while, I just stopped buying other clothing to wear in the evening, and I only bought Beene.
At the day of the exhibit, when we were all in jumpers, especially made for us by Geoffrey Beene, dancing around the photographs in the studio, his assistant came up to me and took me aside and said, Geoffrey Beene has decided that he wants you to continue to model for him.
When you look at dance a lot, the thing that you really want to know is what the choreographer was thinking. You have this burning desire to meet the choreographer. And it was like, it started to feel that way with Geoffrey Beene. I felt like I had to get to know the man who was making these clothes.
If you put flexible clothing on a dancer, they'll show you how it moves. And he just gave me that freedom to have his pieces speak, and that's what they did.
I went in to talk to him, and I said, look, here I am. Here's my life. This is what I do every day. I need some clothes. Can you help? And he thought about it for a while, and he said, you really are the perfect candidate for jumpsuits. You can dress them up, you can dress them down, any shoes you want to wear. I swear to you, it solved every problem I had for many decades.
As a dancer, I would look at it and first feel a lot of freedom because it's pants.
This went everywhere. This was black tie. This was every day. I wore it constantly.
I knew not be afraid of which angle the photographer is getting.
So you can run around, sit down, stand up. There's plenty of room in that jumpsuit to move around.
I could do high kicks. I could do leaps.
It looks like a collar, but it's not really a collar. It's just one of the greatest designs ever. It looked so casual. The little bit of red that's on the hip, that just makes the whole thing so sophisticated.
Each outfit told its own story, and I felt like I could hear that voice, and I would put it on and I would tell its story.
It's black jersey with some white striping. That's not very exciting, but when it's combined with satin and it's cut the way he cut it, that was, I think, his great trick, was that he cut his fabrics in triangles. That way they fit the body perfectly. And then when they all had to be sewn together, it just made it so much more interesting.
Everything had its own personality.
This was his solution for what to put over a jumpsuit. Little nothing jacket, if you were warm, you had a more substantial one if you got a little colder, and then if you were really cold, he made you a coat. I mean, is this the most magnificent thing you've ever seen? Straight sequins, round sequins, embroidered flowers, different colors. This is incredible. This is a garment that it's maybe a yard of material, but he kept piling on. And there is such articulation. His work is so unique. proportions from any other designer looked terrible on top of Beene. He tried to define the body, and he did that in lots of different ways. So you always looked alluring in some way, even if it was a very conservative garment.
The whole design, it's creating its own choreography on the female body.
He always began with fabric. I mean, it was very important to him to have beautifully made fabrics. All this great texture differential, and then the cutting so that it fits your body perfectly. The detail in these dresses is incredible. The different proportions above the waist, the way the skirt gathers, and the way the underskirt was engineered. He loved these dresses. I loved them too. I mean, these dresses are fabulous dresses. It brought me immense pleasure. I mean, really immense pleasure. And I just could never get over the clothes. I would just look at the clothes. To me, they were just magnificent little works of art.
It is so thrilling to think that such a large collection of Geoffrey Beene's outfits could be on display. Very few people get to see the details up close. It's sort of like a performance is going to be put on for the eye.
So happy that that's how this has all ended. Now going to be seen by more people. And somehow something happened in between his making that dress and the client wearing the dress. Something happened where you just became a better version of yourself in his clothes. I don't even know how to articulate this, except that I was the best I ever was in his clothes.